Yo, yo, yo. Hold on, ready for this thing to get ready. Let's pop it.
Guess Phil ain't showing up.
Sending the invite here. What up, what up, what up, people? Welcome to Organic Fanatics here. We back
Yo,
at it. Yeah. We back at it. We on episode 11. I'm blessed to be here with my wonderful cousin Miguel. Talk to him, Miguel.
what's going on, primo? Dios te bendiga. Shouts out Knicks Nation. Mi gente.
Yeah,
Let's go
yeah, yeah.
Knicks.
Let's go, Knicks. Talking to him again. Back for another one, brother. Here we go. It's getting live. It's starting to turn up now. It's starting to turn up. The heat's starting to come up on these people. And I don't mean that with the Miami Heat. We know we don't rule with them, but it's starting to get a little bit crazy now. We got 10 games left. We had a great West Coast trip. Well, I would say great, but 50-50 is pretty darn good for a West Coast trip. What would you say on that? I think we
That's
did
great.
pretty good.
Pretty, it's expected. We're gonna come back with it. Project. Then we're gonna get back. We're gonna get back in gear and finish it off lovely. And I just love the way these kids are playing for their coach.
Big time. Love that. Love that. I mean, we had what? We had Jalen Brunson out for a few games. We had that West Coast trip after the Hornet game that we won, that 112-105 against Hornet. Then we had JB playing against the Kings, which at the half of the game he was out. We ended up losing that game 122-117. That was a tough one to lose. That's a great team that looks similar to us. So they match up almost identical to us, how they play. Sabonis is there, Julius Randle. They got Fox who's there like JB, like us in that aspect. So they're a good up and coming young team. They got good talent. Our defense failed us there. We lost Jalen Brunson half of that game. Any thoughts on that game at all?
Yeah, that's a great game. It was a very well coached game. Shouts out to Mike Brown, candidate for Coach of the Year, well deserved. But so is Thibs. Because the kids are playing all those kids are playing for their coaches, really, and they're well led, experienced coaches who've probably been around the league about the same time, and it's due. Both that's why both those teams kind of developed around the same time, and it just came out from left field and took everybody by surprise this year because nobody was expecting Sack to play like that. I mean, I don't know. I don't follow the Kings like that, but I'm a fan of Mike Brown because I've seen him do it before in Cleveland and I've seen him do it before in LA. Bring teams like that, to like the way the Sacramento are playing. And as far as the Knicks, Thibs has got the kids. They're playing for him. They're responding, and it's great. What's going on, cuz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's goody, y'all? What's goody? What's goody?
Talk to the Knicks Nation. Talk to Knicks Nation first. Give them your what up, and then we'll introduce you to where we at in the topic.
Yo, salute Knicks Nation. Yo, my apologies for my tardiness and apologies for the consistency of the programming, but we're back on schedule and we're here now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome home, everybody. Welcome to the Organic Fanatics Show. Welcome home.
Yeah. They know we on episode 11, and right now we're doing the recap of not the last couple of games from the West Coast trips. Right now we're talking about the Sacramento Kings. Mike gave his take a little bit on the Sacramento Kings and how they match up very similar to us. Their team is very similar. They're young. They're up and coming. Mike was talking about their wonderful coach. I think he's doing a great job considering he came in Cleveland where he had LeBron. So he had great talent there. And then now he has young players and he's getting them to play very hard, which is a good thing there. You have any thoughts on the Sacramento King game where we lost Jalen Brunson at the half, or any thoughts on that game at all?
I mean, it was a pretty good game, and I think everybody, did a good job,
And that was one game where we struggled a little bit. When we were coming out, I mean, Julius Randle had 10 rebounds, 23 points, so he played his usual superstarness. That's where RJ Barrett started coming around a little bit. RJ had 25 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Mitchell Robinson almost a double-double with 9 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 assist. Quentin Grimes was good that game. He played 29 minutes, had 19 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. Jalen Brunson left at the half, but he left at the half with 20 points. So he did a great contribution there. iHeart had a beast mode game. So we're talking about Hart, how he's been impacting our team. He had 15 rebounds that game, which was pretty phenomenal. And then everybody else struggled a little bit. Quick struggled that game. He only had 3 points. Hartenstein only had 5, but had great rebounds, 9. Obi Toppin started coming around, 5 points, 2 assists. And then McBride, no points at that time. But overall, a good game, even though we took a L. That was the first part of the games that we played that we lost on there. Any other thoughts on that?
No.
All right. And then the one after that, we had on that same West Coast trip, we played the Clippers. So that was the first L was to the Kings. Then we played the Clippers, which was a pretty tough game. I mean, Paul George was on his game. Kawhi Leonard was on his game. They were locked and loaded that entire game. So, I mean, we lost at 95-106. Another game we struggled. Any thoughts on those 2 games?
Well, I mean, those 2 games, like on the Sacramento Kings, when we came in there, we came in too cocky. So I think that was a little reality check. And then going into that Clippers game, like you said, I mean, Kawhi and Paul George, 2 all-stars, they played their game and gave us a little trouble. Quickly wasn't quickly, playing up to the par, but yeah, it was 2 losses that I want to get out of my head. I wish we would have kept the streak alive, but it's a good loss. I'm thinking.
I mean, you talking about the Clippers, who are basically a championship chase team. They're a fully locked and loaded team. They had everybody playing for the first time. Of course, they always sit out every other game, but everybody's up to play the Knicks, which I'm all right with that. You had Kawhi Leonard, you had Paul George, you had all their superstars at that point pretty much playing. Our stars did okay. Randall had an okay game. He had 19 points. RJ Barrett had 11. So he had a great game in sack. Then he kind of dropped a little bit. And then quickly had 26. So that was a great bounce back game against the Clippers. So that shows against great opponents that he can step up there. And Quentin Grimes started coming along, 7 points. Josh Hart, 10 points on there. So Obi Toppin had 10 points. So that was another struggle game that we had, where we lost those 2 straight. But then we had the Lakers game.
Right.
Yeah, talk to me.
That was a game. Quickly played 42 minutes and made 26 points.
42 or 55?
He made 26 points and played 40 or 52 minutes, was it?
Yeah.
No.
Why? I can't hear you. You got mute. You're on mute.
It was against the Lakers. He played when we had the OT against the Lakers, where he played the
right.
It was against the Lakers.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Quickly played 42 minutes.
Yeah, he played the whole game against the Clippers.
That was against the Clippers I'm talking about. That was the night he played 42.
Okay.
He scored 26 points. He had 10 rebounds, plus 4 assists and a steal. Despite the loss. And we I think we played him. What was the score? It was close. The game was close.
Against the Clippers, it was 106-95.
It was a great game, dude. It was exciting. We were gonna lose. We lost, but it was an exciting game. It was a great game for Quickly, covering for Brunson. Is my point. It was great. It was a great experience. We had, I think, the second squad was out there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and I think it was close. It was a game that we could have won. I mean, yeah, Kawhi Leonard that went for 38. I mean, he was on fire. They needed their superstar to be great in order for them to beat us.
Had 14 rebounds that night. It was despite the loss, it was still a good game, for Quick at least. Because then the next night he played 52 minutes, right?
Yeah, that was a game against the Lakers where he went. We rode him like Seabiscuit all the way to the end.
Was that game back to back? I can't remember off the top of my
head. That was a back to back too. I mean, we played Clippers Saturday and then we played the Lakers on that Sunday.
Yeah. That was a great weekend. It was a good experience despite the losses, is what I'm saying. So the kid said to me that the kids are playing for Fibs. He's out there, he's got their back. They listen to him, that respect him. He's building a culture. You know, the front office, and I'm just excited what the front office is gonna do in the offseason. What they're gonna pull off. They got Hartenstein in here. That guy is ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
They got Hart. They got the other Hart out here. He's ridiculous, dude. All these guys are ridiculous. Our team is ridiculous, son. We took the #1 team out yesterday. We took the #1 team out in the NBA, yo.
Hold on, you just hold on. Don't jump.
Yeah,
You going ahead. You going ahead. Hold on. I know you're excited. Hey, settle it down. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
We'll get there.
Despite the losses, my point is despite the fucking losses, dog. Excuse my language. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They were good learning curves. You know, a little quick.
The back.
Yeah, but like I heard Hart on one of the interviews. He was saying that they got too complacent. You know what I mean? And that's what the case was. They got too complacent. They thought, oh, we're on a run. The Kings game, you know, and then with the Clippers as well, you know. But I think that got everybody back into all right, let's regroup and then get this going. But the Clippers game was a good loss. It was a good loss. I mean, you can't compare having a few all-stars and some good teams that have been playing with each other for a while compared to our new roster. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with you on that. And I think we spoke about it in our podcast, episode 11, the last episode that we were talking about, is besides Jalen Brunson, we know what JB is going to give you. I mean, he's going to give it all to the limpy leg. I mean, put a cast on him with a walking boot. He's going to put a Nike check on. He's going to ball with that if he has to. But the key thing was the others, which, as you were talking about, the young kids are trying to play for him. We needed to see, they needed these type of games to take a loss, to see what they can bring, what can they contribute to the team. And we started seeing that in the next couple of games, to take to your point, Miguel. So it's the others and the young kids that were coming around and building up this team on there. I think some of what you said, Phil, in the last game too, is ball movement and passing. I think that kind of killed us a little bit in the Clippers game because we only had 22 assists and we had 27 assists against the Kings. So being that Jalen Brunson's out, we should have had a lot more assists that game and more ball movement. You know, especially if Julius Randle only had 19 points out that game. But again,
that night in the Clippers, Leonard still played 36 minutes and got 38 points on us, and they still beat us by 11 points. But even, you know, that was against, you know, Kawhi Leonard, yo.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It took their superstar to be great. He had 30.
They had a good experienced group in there. They had Leonard, they got Morris in there, they got Zubik, they got Paul George in there, played 40 minutes, you know, had 22 points. You know, they West Coast team. Those are top West Coast teams. And the West is supposedly better than the East. I don't know about that. But we played an experienced team, lost. Okay, we're away, we lost. You know, whatever reason. But our kids still showed out. They're showing out for the coach. You know, and then if you guys want to talk about the Lakers.
All right, let me jump into that real quick. So just to end it off there, I mean, if you look at that Clippers game, you're talking about Kawhi had 38, Marcus Morris only had 11 points, Zubac only had 8 points, Paul George, as good as he is, he only had 22 points, Westbrook had 7 points, so they got Westbrook only scored 7, and then Eric Gordon was the next highest scored player with 10 points. So it took Kawhi Leonard's 38, almost half their points, to be great to beat us. If he wasn't at that level, and that was still without Jalen Brunson, that was still without our others really starting to come around. So that was a game that we technically should have won. So that was a great learning experience, and that was a key to us turning around.
On the road.
Yeah.
On a back-to-back.
Yeah.
Now let's go to that Sunday game, the Lakers. So we played the Lakers that Sunday on the back-to-back. And after it was a matinee game. I think it was an afternoon game.
That was the other thing. That was the other thing. Because that first game was at 3:00, and I think I mentioned that to you guys, that it was you know, it's a matinee game. We don't do good on matinee games, and it was at 3:00, on the West Coast.
After a back-to-back.
I'm talking about that first game.
The Clipper game was at 3, and then the Lakers game was like at 1. So they were
And
both.
then you're in the West Coast. Your body's still trying to adjust, and and then it was at an early game at 3 o'clock because usually they play at 6 o'clock on a Saturday, but they played at 3 p.m. So I knew that was going to throw them off. And then to play the next day, that game was at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. It was at a 9 o'clock game. So he went from playing
the Lakers.
The next game on a back-to-back. So they go from playing at 3 p.m. Saturday to 9 p.m. Sunday. ¿Tú me entiendes?
Yeah.
And even with that, they made a great adjustment. On that game, that's when everybody woke up. They must have had to talk to each other like, yo, we can't play like that no more. Because RJ Barrett came out. He had 30 points that game. Randall had 33. Robinson, he had a tough game that night against Anthony Davis. He didn't show up, and I think after that, that's when he had that rant, which we'll go back to in a little bit. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And then quickly had 15 after having 26 on a back-to-back. Burnt out, but he was doing his thing. Grimes again. Well, I'm hoping he comes around, but Grimes only had 5 points. Hart had 8 and 8. But that one, McBride and Obi Toppin started showing some growth and started coming around. Obi Toppin had 9 points in only 12 minutes. And then you have McBride who gave a little something there. He had 8 points, so he started coming around. That's when we started seeing the others, which we were talking about. The others to start. What can they contribute? What can they bring to the team and help out? What did you see in that Laker game, Phil?
Well, I mean, the way everybody came out, it was like I heard RJ say it was like a balanced attack. Like it was all even keeled. Like everybody, it wasn't a your turn, my turn situation. Everybody was locked in on defense, which is how we started those runs, is locking in on defense and transforming that defense into offense. So that's what I saw, and it was a pretty even balance on the attack on everybody. Everybody was a lot more aggressive. And
Nah, to your point, you're right on that from what RJ was saying, because we had 63 points was from just RJ and Randall. And then quickly gives you 15, even though he's technically off the bench, but he was with our starters. But then you had almost 10 points from Josh Hart. You had almost 10 points from McBride, almost 10 points for Obi Toppin. So you're right. The others were contributing on there. So that lets out that our bench is starting to contribute to that. What did you see in the Lakers game, Mike?
You're on mute. I can't hear you.
Hey guys, sorry
There
about
you
that. All right. So yeah, that was a great game. That day, it was a balanced game, like you said, Phil. It was a great game. It was a good game for Hartenstein because it wasn't a really good game for Robinson that night. I think Hartenstein that night he played 23 minutes. He didn't score any points, but he got 11 rebounds. He had 2 assists, 2 steals. That day was a good. Jay Hart had played 32 minutes and got 8 points, 8 rebounds, 8 and 4 assists, which was a pretty balanced game for him. It was also a good game for McBride. Remember, in the beginning he shot all those threes, even though he only scored 8 points and had 2 rebounds. He had 3 steals though, so it helped us. And as far as the Lakers are concerned, Anthony Davis played 37 minutes, still had 17 points and 16 rebounds, but really couldn't pull it through because I think that night I played him a little bit, I think in the 50-50 game.
And to touch on that before you go on there, we're talking about Anthony Davis, the number 2 in the Lakers, who was averaging, I want to say 35 plus points per game with double digits rebounding. So even though Mitch didn't have a good game and he was off early, you're talking about Wonderstein. Hey, Wonderstein, white bread.
Wonder Bread had his number. It's like Wonder Bread. It was like, Wonder Bread said, this is my house. This ain't your house. He had a game despite not scoring. and he just 11 rebounds. It was just something about he just I don't know something
And
about man.
that's what it was. I mean, this is he's starting to come into to his own now. He's starting to contribute. I mean,
Mhm.
not only on rebounds, even though he didn't give any points. I mean, what do you think about his effort, Phil?
I mean, yeah, it was 0 points, but what Hartenstein does is like you can't find that in the books, bro. Like he plays exactly like Hart does, and he plays exactly like Brunson does. They hustle, they go after every little thing that's out there, and they're always gonna try to push and give it that honey. I like the effort. You know, this is where Mitch went into that little rant after the game, I think. But when I was kind of siding with Mitch, but then I go back and I look at the numbers and I'm like, hold up, they wasn't running plays for Hartenstein, and he ended up closing the game. So especially with 11 rebounds, 2 assists, you know, I like his effort. White bread.
It's something about these guys coming from the outside and just coming into the ball club with a like a I don't give a F mentality. Like they got something to prove. I think for Hart, Josh, it was different because he had a friend, or he has kind of like knowledge or acquaintance or ties to management or who or whatnot, or even to just to Jalen Brunson. Even I don't think JB knew that he was gonna get hired by the Knicks. But I think just it was really good how that the front office read that, and that guy came in and he just has it made put a transfusion into us, like an adrenaline rush into us. Him and Frankenstein. You know what I mean? White bread. But
Frankenstein. Go
they're just coming in like
Frankenstein.
Hartenstein. This guy, he's just playing like a Frankenstein, dude. It's like Frankenstein. He's out there. I'm not saying he handled, but he just had his number out there. It looked like he looked butthurt.
He plays tough, bro. He plays tough. The same way as Mitchell does. A lot of people are like, he's just an offensive player. He can stretch the floor. No, he's giving you that tough defense. He's protecting the rim just as well as any other center, except his visual, seeing the floor, how it's played, and also like not being scared of these top centers that they're going up against.
Right.
They're not afraid, bro. None of these players are afraid.
They're playing with like I got nothing to lose mentality, and it's an infusion in the team, and then it's exciting Deuce, it's exciting Grimes. It's giving them hope. Oh, that was one thing. Did you guys notice? Okay, at the end, if you guys watched the game when they did they were taking pictures and something with the guys from a show called Ted Lasso. Shouts out to Amazon TV out there.
Went down the floor with the stuff. Yeah.
So anyway, I was looking into that. I was looking into the reviews of the show and whatnot, and the T-shirt they were holding up says, it's the name of an app in the story, but in it says "I believe" because it's something with the show. I have to start watching the show. But the guys were excited about it, and just the connection in the show is the "I believe." These guys are playing like they believe in each other. Is what I'm trying to say.
I like that segue. I see what you did there. I believe.
We believe, just like Knicks fans,
Hey,
that these guys can go forward. And I don't want to predict because I'm not.
We're gonna get to that part too. So
I'm not. But it's the point is that they believe in themselves, and you can't stop a person who believes in themselves when they want to get to where they want to get to.
Speaking of believing in themselves, as we were talking about Mitchell Robinson, thanks for the segue on there. So this is what he said after the game and when he had that point, disappearing for a while. Other than that, he was saying he's tired as fuck or as AF of being out there for cardio, fam. Like, I want to play basketball. Sick of just really wasting my time and energy. So with that thought process, I think we had some words and thinking about it, what we thought about originally, what he was feeling on there. Let's talk and unpack a little bit about what you think Mitchell Robinson was talking about there. Originally, let me know what you guys thought, your original thoughts, and how we got to that. Who wants to go? You want to go first, Phil? Go ahead. Tell me what you thought about Mitch. We
Well,
had
I was siding with Mitch after, me seeing all the games that we're watching. It's not only Mitch that I see. I've seen Obi, I've seen Grimes a few times where guys are like not wide open, but if you have the IQ to get it to these guys within a split amount of time, they're open a lot. They're open a lot. So I was agreeing with Mitch that he's running up and down. And like you have reiterated, and we've been saying here for a minute, why can't we start with the attack like we started in the beginning of the season, where Mitch was, Jalen Brunson and Mitch was on pick and rolls. There was a game where Mitch scored like 4 or 5 points, straight off the back, started it off like that. Because, you want more weapons, offensive weapons. And if, Mitch could be that lob threat that we know he can be, because the Knicks are a very athletic team. We do have point guards that are more than capable to execute these plays. So, I agree with him. When I first seen, what the tweet that he released, I agree with Mitch because, Mitch, as everybody know, is like one of the pillars that we're building around.
facts.
It's and on top of that, him and RJ have been here longer than any other Knick, like you were saying, before Julius Randle, before anybody. So, they're pillars of the future. So you have to, in basketball, we always know that you have to reward the big man. And I haven't been seeing that a lot. So that's where I was with it.
And Miguel, you were saying before, my bad. You had anything else to add to that, real quick? We'll come back to it.
No.
And Miguel, had some pointers on the other aspect of it, as some of the other podcasters. I think Phil, when he comes back, he can talk about that too. But you were talking about the opposite spectrum of
I'm
what
here.
I got you, of what Mitch could do or contribute, or what you thought he could work or something like that. Tell me what the opposite aspect of that you were talking about.
Mitch, in all due respect, that's my man. That's my dude. He's one of the original three. Isn't he one of the elders?
Yeah.
He's a great center. He's making all his millions by doing what he's always been doing. And I think he may have spoke out of boredom or frustration. He has the right to voice his opinion, and he's great at doing what he does, playing defense, blocking, rebounding. But you haven't shown me that you can shoot. I haven't seen it from you. Maybe you not that from maybe 6 or 7 feet away, but I don't see you making those jumpers out there. I don't see you shooting three-pointers. I have never seen you do that, other than in the gym, off season on a YouTube or whatever. But I just don't. You had the ball yesterday. They gave it to you. They did that pick and roll, Dwight, and he had a chance to shoot it. He didn't shoot it. He passed it. I don't know.
He made a great assist though.
He made a great assist. Yeah, he makes great assists, but I don't see him trying to shoot the ball. And then that night that he sat down against the Lakers, he was, excuse me, he was a minus 15, and Hartenstein was a positive 19, and he had 0 points, dog. They had almost the same amount of rebounds. Robinson had 4, Hartenstein had offensive rebounds. I'm talking about.
All right, that's where.
You know.
Sorry, I want to hear what your take was on it, Dwight.
Hold on, and then not only that, okay. So you voiced your frustration, and I don't know what happened. You came back. You realized that you know, it's okay to vent, but you realize that you should just do what you're there. That's your job. That's what we need you to do. You're the best at it. You know, you're everybody. You're renowned for the offensive rebounds throughout the league. Everybody was talking about how you were the ish. You know, do that. Focus on that. Right now, I'm saying till we get there, and once we get there, and you know your experience, because you don't want to. We're now going to listen to you and start passing you the ball for you to shoot it at this time. Nah, dude, come on. Now is the time. Practice and maybe get some shots. Hit your free throws, dog. Don't get sat or benched and have this dude just coming in and score 0 points and be a positive 19 and you're a negative 15. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Focus on what you do. And when you start doing that, we start winning games like we did last night. So then last night, after all that, he wins us the game. Literally, dude. If you watch the game, it was like we're thankful for what he did, his rebounds. And going up against Joker and doing what he did. He literally at the end, you know, when Joker had the ball, I think that, he didn't make the shot. He couldn't because Mitch was in his face. And then Mitch dunks it. Come on. That's what we need you to do. Dunk the ball, rebound it, get it back to us so that we can make our plays. Because now we got you doing it, and we got Josh Hart doing it, and we got iHeart doing it. We need the three of you to get the ball back to us so that we can score. So our shooters who are RJ, you know, Randall and JB and the rest and Obi, get them going. But get us the ball back. We need you and the others to get us the ball back, especially you. That's focused on that. And then, you know, we could talk later when we get there.
All right. How did you feel about it?
I mean, I was looking at it, and like you said, I mean, you know, we love and support all other podcast brothers and sisters out there. We look it out there, and I saw everybody, news, media, and everybody talking about that he needs to step his game up. If he really wants to get touches, he has to work on his game. It's up to him. He has to get, as you were saying too, and I heard y'all.
That's exactly what he did last night. If you watch the game, he won us the tip off. He slapped the ish out that ball at the tip off. Look at it in the beginning, dude.
I see it, but you talking about offensive game that he has to get either a hook, a jump shot, some kind of offensive game that he can contribute. That's how
he
most
was talking about. You were talking about that they need to make pick and rolls for him to shoot.
No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that.
Mike, you had your piece. Let me hear what Dwight
said.
I got it.
That's why and it's all good. And that's what I was saying, that everybody was saying that he was saying it like he wants to get touches. He got paid now. He got a $60 million. Let me get some offense. Let me get some burn. Let me get some of them touches. And I took it the opposite. I didn't think he said that. I didn't think that's what he meant. And if you're looking at, he said he's tired as AF of running around, tired of fucking running around where he's just doing cardio. What does that mean? That means in the 48, 42, 45 minutes, whatever it is that he's out there playing, he's not getting touches. He's doing everything he needs to for the team. As everybody, Randall gets all-star numbers. Jalen Brunson, almost an all-star. IQ getting a 6-man. He sets each one of those players up. He's almost always the one that's either setting a pick and roll. Obviously, you know, Hart does as well, but set him up. I think that's what he was talking about, that he wants to be involved in the offense and not to be in to make where he can make a play, but include him, because you got one of the most biggest leapers in the game, one of the most offensive athletic freaks out there, which they call him the athletic freak. He can jump and catch it from anywhere. You look at the first 2 years he played, we were throwing it up. He was catching it from all types of angles. They threw it from places that he shouldn't even been able to catch. And he was catching it and dunking. He was on his back on the floor running and diving at people and blocking from being flat on his back under the rim, getting up and blocking a three-pointer. So he has the athletic ability as elite athletic ability.
And on top of that, he was the only center to block three-point shots at the rate that he was blocking it. I think that was a record or something. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't say that Mitch doesn't give you effort.
And that's all he gives, but that's what people expect. And they're like, yo, just get rebounds and block, which that's what he's good at, but he can be more with just a little effort from the others. And I think that's what he was talking about. Just involve him. As you talk, Shaq said it, you just said it, that you got to reward the big man. When the big man's doing those extra
Exactly.
stuff for you, when he's number 4 in the NBA in offensive rebounds, when
Yes.
he's in the top in blocking, give him a little something, my man. He
Yo.
bring you the chicken, give him the leg, bro. Just give him, and that's what he was talking about. I think everybody else went left with it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Excuse me, Dwight.
Yeah, say your opinion.
He's big and he's a big, strong guy. I don't know if he's gotten more muscle mass, but it seems to me he's just a little bit. He's not as fast as he's not faster than he was last year. He seems a little bit more slower, running up the court, running back in transition.
Because he's heavier. He's bigger now. Plus,
Phil, he was a gazelle when he started. He was a gazelle.
And he was getting injured. He was getting injured.
But that's where
He's not a gazelle now.
But that's but the point is that when he was playing like a gazelle, it was leading him into foul trouble. He's playing more composed. He's not leaping at every little thing. He's playing composed. There's a difference from playing fast and reckless, and he's still giving you the same. I mean, yeah, he is a little bit heavier.
That's not what I'm saying, bro.
He did gain a little weight.
I'm saying that, yeah, he's a little more not overweight. I'm not saying overweight.
He's gained weight. He's gained weight, but it's muscle. He's gained muscle.
Muscle is what I'm saying, because what I'm saying, when he was a gazelle, he was more frail than he is now. Now you can see that he's strong. You can see it in his shoulders and his arms and his legs. He's a big, tall, strong guy. He's like big. He's a big dude. But now he's heavier, and I think that he's not running back like he used to. Like he did before.
He just came off an injury, so it's gonna take a while. Just like Hartenstein. Now people are like, Hartenstein's amazing. He just came. Now you're seeing him healed after his Achilles that Hartenstein had. Mitch just came off of, I don't know how many games he missed in his hand. He still has a tape on his hand, so he's still dealing with the injuries. But he said it himself. He gives all. He doesn't care if by jumping he's gonna break his leg and hurt himself. He gives himself all to the game. And to your point, yes, he can still give you that. But why not? You can make a pick and roll, and Tibbs gives it to he'll give a player. Here's the reads. Make the right read. He says it every post game. Make the right read. If you ain't got the shot, spray the ball. Spray the ball. An alley-oop is a spray, bro. If you get picked and roll and they're doubling you, when Julius gets doubled, there's plenty of times that they can give it. And that's all to me, that's all he was saying. Just include him. Give him a little bit of bread. There ain't no reason he should not have a double-double every night. Every night. He should be a double-double leader.
Facts.
He was before. He was scoring. He was before, I think, in the beginning of the year.
Because they were giving them pick and rolls, Mike. Mike, there's no reason that Mitch, being one of the top 5 or top 7 centers in the NBA, should not be scoring double digits in offense. Especially when you have the capability.
To stop giving him the pick and roll.
All right. Yeah, but now getting to the point of where I, like you, after the comment was made, I started going to our fellow podcasters and seeing what everybody else side was. And I do agree with a lot of people that was saying, from the beginning, Tibbs has been preaching, everybody has to sacrifice. And everybody has to do what they have to do, And on top of that, us being a fresh new team, everybody getting to learn each other. It was too early for Mitch. I mean, yeah, he can, do the pick and roll, but I think with us being new and Tibbs trying to get that offensive chemistry going, because right now, as of defense, we're about like 80 to 90% locked in. Besides the defensive rotation that I'm not liking, too much, I think we're about at 90. So now is the transition of learning everybody's offensive style to where it's almost flawless, where everybody's going to be, how Golden State plays. Everybody knows where everybody's going to be. Draymond can close his eyes, throw it to the back, Steph is there. So that's what we're learning right now.
Yeah, and I,
You
I
know,
agree with
so
that. And that's what even with Mitch, people took it like he wants. All right, now I got my 60 mil. Include me into. He's already had spoken with Tibbs. Tibbs told him when you get your free throws to a certain percentage, I'll let you do it. And in the
yeah.
practices, he does it. They've said that Mitch has little shots or whatever he does that he was doing in the off season. He's doing them in practice. They're just not allowing him to do it as of yet because him and Tibbs talk. And he said him and Tibbs talk after the game. When you get to the free throw and when you're up to 70 at least, I'll let you release one of your threes that you got or whatever. But he ain't there yet. So he understands that aspect. But he was talking
He's
about his teammates.
big. We just need you to be a big, strong guy right now to rebound us the ball, get us the ball back, dunk it in there, get your points, and
And he's doing it.
and they're leaving him open to take the shots because I did see he was open yesterday when they did a little pick and roll and there was I can't remember exactly. It was very early in the game and he was wide open. He could have taken the shot. He wasn't even that far away from the basket, and he had his opportunity. He ended up passing it. I to remember.
All right.
Because that's the offense. He's respecting the offense of it, like you said.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you said? Pass it to the shooter. He could have done it, but he's
Yeah,
respecting his role.
he could have dunked it, and he made a nice pass, which is showing his IQ. He could do the same thing that Hart does. You understand what I'm saying? That's what he's trying to like. When a player goes to sitting down on the bench, like I'm pretty sure right now, Grimes is looking at the example of what Tibbs wants on the floor with Hart. Grimes is sitting down and be like, okay, that's what I
And
need to
learning.
do. Okay, I need to get more aggressive, slash to the boards. You understand what I'm saying? So when a person is sitting down in the bench, they're seeing what the other person, Hart, is closing out the game. Why? He had 0 points, just like Mitch, but he's going extra on the hustle, extra on the defense. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
all the
where
things
he
that it's
positions
all
himself
the
too.
yeah, it's all the little things that doesn't get jotted down on the notes.
Yeah.
When you're looking at the stats, there's certain things that these players do that doesn't get jotted down. Is you can't write those statistics down.
Yeah, and in the beginning of the season, I think once they said they got when they got Josh Hartenstein, Isaiah Hartenstein, that he said, "Yo, he gives a different look. He does things different that I've never seen before. I learned from him." He said it. I'm learning from him things that he's doing, so he's picking it up. He's finding
Yeah.
the pass. He's making the right reads, and he's spraying the ball, and he's getting the rebounds, and he's doing the blocks. But every once in a while, you can't tell me you can't give him
All right.
4 pick and rolls.
All right, I'll give you 2 examples. On the last game we played with Denver, I'm trying not to jump forward, but on the last plays, the last 2-3 minutes, they ran the same play with Julius, Brunson, and RJ, where Julius got the ball. He started rolling into the basket, and Jokic, he had his eye on Mitch, but as soon as Randall made that certain move to get him into a certain distance where the double team came, I've seen Mitch open 2 or 3 times when they ran that same play. If you look at both of those plays, Mitch was wide open underneath the basket, but that's where I say you have to know to get that pass off within that split. You can't wait for the double team to come and then try to make it the play. You got to make the play as the double team is coming because you only have a split amount of seconds to get that pass off. But I've seen Mitch wide open. That's all he's talking about. Yo. You're on mute.
My bad. Yeah, as you were saying, just to kind of wrap that up, I think he just wants to be involved. I think, and again, that's as you were saying, we're learning chemistry. We're learning how to play with each other. Pause in the game, so we're figuring out where each person likes to be at, where we like to play. So I think that's a big thing of this year that we're getting together and learning. So I think even Mitch, I think in the last post game that Thibodeau just had this past game, he said they moved on from that. He learned. And he's young. I think he's 23 years old. So even at 23, he's like, when we was wilding at 23, you said something that you ain't learned, but from his players and his teammates.
In addition to wrapping that up, he sent out another tweet the following day or something after that. where he said he had a lot of stuff going on in his personal life that all came crashing in at the same time. So sometimes, like,
You're young and you go through things, man.
Another thing that I overheard as well, we all know Mitch to be
Playful,
like the kidder of the locker room. You know, he was.
young.
But if you really look at his whole year coming in, he's been professional. He's been serious. So this is something that in the past we will see once or twice something, you know. But you know, for the first time, I'll take it. I'll take it.
I've never seen somebody get paid and still be hungry like that. You know, but all I gotta say about Mitch is that he showed out. Yo, that dude showed out. He won us that big game last night. That was a big game. We beat the number one team.
Hold on. You segue. We're almost there. I'm bringing you.
I just want to say something else. All I'm saying is, look, yo, he helped us beat the number one team in the West. Okay,
but we ain't there yet.
No, but last night we beat Denver. Last night is what I'm talking about. Yes,
I know. We're not talking about Denver yet.
Big Mitch Rob. But anyways, the Laker game. I just wanted to make a point because I'm looking at the numbers here, the plus minuses. Our bench, our guys outdid the starters, dude. I'm gonna read the numbers out to you real quick, okay?
Go ahead.
Plus minus. Jay Randall, RJ was a -1. Mitch Rob was a -15. Quentin Grimes was a -5, and IQ was a -11 that night. Our bench was a +19. It was Isaiah Hartenstein. Josh Hart was a +13. McBride was a 15, and Obi Toppin was a 5. That's my point I want to talk about. I mean, I don't want to make.
No, you're right.
Sorry, and with that being said, is the leadership of Hart. If you remember, Brunson didn't play these games, so Hart came in as the point guard and set the tempo of the fast pace with our bench. When Hart steps into that point guard position, into that captain position, you know things are going to be ran fast. He's always looking up the floor. He's always keeping everybody involved, and he's always keeping, you know, like whoever's on fire, he's going to keep feeding them.
He's doing what Rose would have done if he was healthy and strong.
Facts.
That was a good point. Yeah.
You know, so then what are we going to do with Rose? We could talk about that later. Yeah. But then, you know, maybe I hope we keep him still in the team as a mentor, and you know.
He could be our Haslam.
Yeah, why not? You know, but he's doing what D Rose would have done. You know, he's got the pace, he's got the physicality, and the heart and the desire.
Well, all right. Sorry to keep dwelling on this point, but all right. Randall is the oldest, but as leadership wise, I see Hart as the leader because Brunson is the captain, and Brunson looks up to Hart. You understand what I'm saying?
And your point. He looks up because they're winners. They won before. Yeah. They know what it's gonna take. They know that.
And Hart was the senior when they won. So you coming in as a young guard, looking up to your senior and winning with him, that shows that he sets the right example.
Yeah, he sets
all the correct things in the interview. Like his mindset is a New York mindset.
And he said it like you said. He said it in an interview, like you were talking about. Like this is the first time that he's been in a team that's winning, and that has a chance. He's
playing for something.
He's playing for something because now this is the first team that
first time in his career he's actually playing for something. So
and he has a big role.
These are the dogs, and with a dog like Hart being a great example for Deuce, because Deuce is a big dog Deuce. You got big dog Hart right there, giving a great example, and that's something that the whole NBA has been missing.
Yeah,
it's leadership like that.
Yeah, and these guys, like you said it, he said it. He's playing for something, so they're looking at him how him and they already seen Brunson. Brunson's coming in with a crazy mindset that him and Julius, they respect Julius for that too, because when they come in, they're taking over and they're dominating how they play. They come, they're staying up late, they doing whatever they got. They're working on their game insanely. I mean,
Well,
Kobe Bryant.
sorry to interrupt. Well,
Go ahead.
Brunson's example to the Knicks was his last year at Dallas, where he took them. That was his. He was like, "This is what I'm gonna do."
But now he's taking it another level because now they're seeing it in the flesh. They're saying, all right, what you did was there, that was good at that team. But now it's different. They seen him in fourth quarters when there was games that we would have lost last year, this year in the fourth quarter, let games slip where he's like, no, no, no. Eso no va a pasar aquí, no. Dame la pelota, coñazo. He's saying he's doing this thing, and they seeing that they're like, yo, this dude is on some whole other level. If we need points, so they're looking at that. Deuce is looking at that. All right, this is what I need to do. When he does here, this is where I need to score right here. This is where I would need to take a point and go. So they're young pit bulls in the kennel looking at these real big dogs. So they're baby pits, but they're looking at the real big dogs setting the example.
All right, let me get to this point. The first run that we did was the example of Brunson being here and leading that charge. That second run we had was Hart coming in, setting the example, leading that charge. And now, if I think we could do what I know in my heart the Knicks is always capable of doing and bringing to fruition what RJ put into the universe and shocked the world, if we could go on this third run, I
think we got to.
And do I know it's me, the exaggerator.
Hey,
no, but you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
You
That
know,
third run with
we
RJ.
could go on this third run and play like a unit. Let me reverse that. If we play like a unit, I know we could go on this third run. That's what I meant to say.
No, you're right. What you got to say about that, Mike?
Yeah. From your mouth to God's ears.
But to your point, as you're saying, that third run you're talking about is like RJ. We're starting to see RJ's putting it together. RJ's talking, and Tibbs just said it. Thibodeau just said it. The last thing he's like, we told RJ, stop all that other stuff, stop the fading away. Your gift is taking it to the basket. Score, drive, do what you know how to do.
What has he been averaging in the last 18 games?
He's been stepping up. He's been stepping. But it's like
18 games, he's been averaging like some 25 points or something like that.
All right, no, that's the screenshot that I sent from Knicks Muse. Yeah,
it don't matter.
Right,
just his stats himself is just.
Shout out to them for the stats. My bad. You know
they can't hear that. Keep it going.
Damn, I forgot where my point was.
So RJ.
Go ahead. I'm looking for it.
RJ, we all know RJ since he first signed, he's slow to start everything. And this year probably took a little longer than what we usually accustomed to. And then when he was getting that start, that's where it went to where he was trying to do things that he's not really doing what Tibbs said, trying those fadeaways and doing all that extra shit. You know what I mean? Play your fucking game. And that's where, if you look at the last 7 games, that where we got those stats is 20-something plus.
30 points.
30 points. You know, it's ridiculous. He's getting back to who RJ was.
Because he was trying to do other things and again, I'm gonna rep RJ. I'm in the RJ hive. Big number 9, RJ hive for real. And he's the one who's had to sacrifice the most over everybody in his 4 years between many different coaches, many different players, many different rotations.
Good point.
Just him and Randall, and then now this year, as people said, why did he start so slow? You threw in another all-star in the rotation. You threw Jalen Brunson, who's another
all-star, perseveres,
and he's still giving you 20. People still want to trade him. and you got another all-star you throw in there, he had to adjust to that. And then in midseason, when he starts finding his form after his finger injury, the little lashing and all that,
Right.
then you throw in Hart. Now he has to adjust his game again and
Through a
still
lacerated
give
finger.
you
He's
20.
and look at him.
And still giving you 20. And people still want to
Shouldn't-
trade him. They still want to get rid of him. We got a crazy Knicks nation. We love all of y'all. We love all of y'all. But I mean, give us your opinions other than that. But
I
now
was
is that
thinking how
for
he can't. Because he goes to school and he trains out there in Orlando. Dwight, he goes to that school out there. That's where
who?
RJ.
At
That's the
Mount
name of
Verde?
the school.
Monteverde.
Noel does security out there, and David, they met
Monteverde. Mount Verde.
Yeah, he goes out there.
That's
That's
right
where he
here by my
trains.
house. I
I'm
popped in.
sure. I'm sure he'll be out there.
I'm gonna have to check him in the off season. I'm gonna give you a live exclusive.
Keep your eyes open out there, But I'm sure in his mind, he can't wait for the season to be over for him to get better next year. If God willing, he stays healthy. But RJ is great. Put respect on that name, Bodman.
Bodman Barrett. That's what I'm gonna say. Put some respect on it, and he's gonna come
Broadway
into
Barrett.
Broadway Barrett, Bodman Barrett, the Bodman. And to Phil's point, I think he's gonna be that fourth, that next piece between him and the second. I think we were talking about on the last show. It's the others right now. In order for us to go past the first round, it has to be the others. RJ has to be in a steady groove to know his game, and I think the last couple of games, him playing his own way, Tibbs telling him you gotta be your way. When our top three, Jalen Brunson, Randall, and RJ are 20 and above, I think we're top 5 in all the NBA with all of them playing. So you get a Badman Barrett, Badman. If you get him at 20 plus all the time, so those three consistent, and then we got the contributors, especially Deuce, Grimes, and Obi. If we can get them again, we said that before, just 10 points each, minimum. If we can get them 10 points each, which to your segment, Phil, you were talking about, Hart gets them running. Hart got them involved. Hart got Obi playing where Obi had 11 against, we're going to that game now, the Blazers. When we played the Blazers, you had Obi giving them 11. McBride's his game season NBA highlight, 18 points. Then you had Hartenstein had no points, but he had 11 rebounds. Josh Hart with 16 points, 9 rebounds. Quickly with 26 points, 10 rebounds. Robinson had another dud game, but he's coming around. You had RJ Barrett with 22 and Randall. So we had the others when we played the Blazers, which we won 123 to 107, which I think some here, and some in Knicks Nations over there was talking about a Cam redemption game. Tell me about what you guys saw at the Blazers game. And let me give you some of. You want me to give you some of? Let me give you some of the numbers for the Blazers. Not crazy that Thibault played really good in the beginning. First half, he was getting steals, runs. We got him from Philly. He had 15 points, 8 rebounds. Nurkic, he had 10 points, 10 rebounds. What can you say about Dame Dollar, Mr. Always on time, clutch time, 38 and 7. My boy was crazy. And then Simons, who's in Altamont Springs local, right out here, 2 miles from the crib. That boy is balling. That's their future kid. 22 points. They had a good game overall. But tell me what you thought about. Well, I'm sorry. How could I skip Cam? Cam Reddish had a whopping 2 points and 1 assist. That boy was. Let me know what y'all thinking. Let me hear about that.
Hey, Mike, go first because I got the helicopters over here going crazy. Somebody must have got dropped around here. So go ahead.
All right, be careful. I'm noticing a pattern. We're beating these guys, these all-stars, dude. We're beating them in their house. We beat Anthony Davis in his house, and we beat Dame Lillard in his house. Giving Dame Lillard, Lillard, they had a good squad around him because they were doing pretty good in the beginning. They were very confident in the beginning of the first half, but we just took their hearts out, man, in their own house. And I'm noticing the pattern. We're beating these all-stars in their own home. That's confidence. Once again, how did we do? Once again, that was a great game. Hartenstein again was a positive 20 in the plus minus. It looks like that.
Yeah, he was balling. He had no points, but he had 11 rebounds.
11 rebounds, which anyways.
I mean, he neutralizes other players, so it's not always about
Our
scoring.
bench came through. The kids came through. That's my point. These kids, Josh Hart had what? Let me look at the numbers right now. Josh
16
Hart,
points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists.
he was a positive 26. Isaiah Hartenstein was a positive plus minus a positive 20. McBride was a positive 17. Even
Deuce.
positive 8. But that was the night that Deuce went off.
Okay,
Great night.
that was a great night for him. He was
Great night for him.
everywhere. Steals. He
Yeah.
had blocks.
Quickly too had 26 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. You know, he was also a positive 8 for us that night.
And Obi Toppin.
And Obi only had like 2 points. He had 11.
He had 11.
My bad.
Okay.
I apologize. He had 11 points, 1 rebounds, 1 assist. You know, and he was a positive 8.
But you know how our others got involved? You know how they got him? Josh Hart's 8 assists. The highest assist, and he's got the highest in the team. There's no reason.
He had 9 rebounds. He was 16, 9, and 8.
And which a couple of those rebounds should have been assists, but he threw him down court. There was a couple of dribbles after he got it, so he should have had way more assists. But
he made 2, 3 points.
He's always looking ahead.
3 points that night, you know, and Obi's 3 3-pointers. You know, once again, our bench came through. Randall played 40 minutes, got 0 3-pointers, was a positive 8, Randall, that night.
That was a big game. And Deuce showed,
and his 24 points, excuse me.
Yeah, Deuce showed why Cam was expendable.
Mhm.
Deuce was like, get him out of here. Deuce is if we get G League Deuce, if we get G League Deuce to come anywhere near what he does in G League, yeah, there's no reason we ain't gonna be past the ECF.
Hey Mike, give me do you have Dame's number for the first and second quarter? Because to my visual, when Grimes was defending Dame was cooking the shit out of Grimes.
Yeah.
But when Deuce came into that game and started defending Dame,
he had
him scrambling, bro.
They were showing highlights. They were showing a highlight right there where Dame he scored like it was a ridiculous little layup that he did, but there was Deuce was defending him, and they were showing how Dame had scored, but when in the slow motion of him scoring, you just can see how Deuce was just bodying him, dude, just like all over him. And Dame is quick and agile and can move, and Deuce was right there in every step. But I mean, he still ended up scoring. But it was amazing how he stuck him like he was sticking him, dude. Like sticking him like a safety, dude.
Bro, I'm telling you, Deuce, if that poster that I made with the superheroes on it, Deuce is like Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Bro, he he disappears and he pops up.
Yeah.
He's everywhere. He's everywhere, bro. And he is nagging people. He's not just standing there. I mean, he is active. He's body on body. He's 94 feet. Like, he's gonna give you 100, and that's what
110,
got him,
dude.
I mean, that's what got him on rotation. You know,
he plays the tenacious football defense, dude.
Yeah, he's another thing. Him being a football player, bro, he's not little like that.
He ain't scared of the big guys because he's a football player. He ain't scared of those guys, even though he's a little shorter.
And also, Dame is Dame, but you got to remember,
dude, Dame is great, dog. Dame is amazing.
Yeah, but Dame is not 26, 25-year-old Dame. These kids are coming in. They're a lot faster. They're a lot stronger.
It's just fresher,
you know.
But they're not as experienced as he is.
Yeah, and like All the
Dillard still
players
had a
that
great night against us. He had a great night against the Knicks. Still, he had a great night. Dillard had 38 points.
well, I
He
mean,
played.
he had a
He
better
had a great
first.
game here. Listen, he played 40 minutes, got 38 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and was he was still
Well,
a negative
he
5.
had a better first half than he did a second half.
Yeah, you're right.
He
You're
better
right.
had a better first half than he did that second half, because that second half, that's when you had Deuce everywhere.
Yeah, because the
Like Dwight said,
Portland
Deuce
had 33
wasn't.
points in the beginning. Portland had 33 to our 20 the first quarter.
Yeah, and that was another thing that I was looking at when we started the win streak with the Lakers with that first win. If you look, it goes back to what I was saying. Once we start with 30 plus, like if we start the quarter with 28 plus or 30 plus, that's when I know we're winning games. And in that Lakers game, the first quarter, we scored 31 points. The second quarter, we scored 31 points. So when you start off that aggressively offensive for the Knicks, that means you're playing good lockdown D,
Yeah,
which is leading to that good offense.
and in that Blazers game, and some of the other games that you were talking about, typically most of the games that we played, most of the games that we were winning, it's just like how you were saying. That's when Randall is the number one in the NBA in the first quarter points. Our team was coming in the first half and just blowing it out almost in the first 2 quarters, and then sustaining that win to the end. And some of the losses of the last couple of games where Jalen Brunson was out, the L's that we took was we didn't have the energy, we ain't come out, and we ain't moved the ball. And then when we started getting that again, we had some games like actually in the Blazers game, we was down the first 2 quarters. Actually, the first quarter, they were winning in the first quarter. You were talking about Grimes was getting cooked a little bit. We had to bring in Deuce, who was disrupting their offense. He had the steals, the blocks, the chase down block. You seen that chase down block?
Big dog Deuce.
Yo, they got the rip, and he thought he was gonna get that easy layup. Deuce was like, "Get that out of here, boy!"
Yeah,
Big time block. So he balled it out. But in that game, our third and fourth quarter was our big game. Our third quarter, we had 42 points to their 26. That lets you know our defense and our offense was rolling due to the others, due to Josh Hart getting the assist and looking up the floor and getting Obi involved, getting Deuce involved, and getting the other players into it. And that was a huge aspect on that game on there. That was pretty huge.
Facts.
And now, anything else to talk about the redemption cam? What happened to that? Redemption cam. Cam's gonna have a redemption game. Cam's gonna show everybody how awesomeness he is. How we're gonna regret trading Cam.
Well, hey, I was
dude. I ain't never seen it. He was a negative 27, dude.
I'm sorry. What was that? What was that? Negative 27? And he had 2 points.
He played 20 minutes. He played 19 minutes. 1 rebound. Okay, he had 2 steals. 0 assists.
Bro, we had a big majority of the fan base, including myself. I'm not gonna, I man up to it. Had a big majority of the fan base mad at the front office. Like before the trade was even made, everybody was up like, damn, you're not giving them a chance, which that was me as well. But if Tibbs doesn't, you gotta rely on the professionals. If Tibbs doesn't see it, like, bro, you have to roll with it.
Great point.
You really have to roll with it and trust and believe what they're seeing. We're not there. We're not at the practices.
You would have thought
we're not at the practices. We're not at the meetings. We're not in the locker room. We're not seeing the vibe. We don't know nothing. All we're doing is going on whatever we can assume. And
not only that, he knew. He saw
good
that.
point. Good point.
But you know what it is? That would have been the night, but you made 3 attempts at the 3-point line and scored 0.
Yeah.
And you went to the 3-point line. You were at the three times, three attempts, and you went 0.
Yeah, well, I mean, to the point being where once I saw Hart get signed, and just off of the first game that he played, and I seen that, like, my eyes can't get full. Like, when I saw him play just the first few minutes, I said, "Damn, that's Starks.
That's him.
That's Starks." I said, "That's the future version of
Yeah, you
Starks."
said that.
And I was like, "Yo, forget about it." It's like, I'm never gonna question. I mean, I was always, behind the front office, but with this move, listen, I don't want to hear nothing. Year 3 of the rebuild, you know what I mean? And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And
We got dogs. We got New York Knicks players. We got New York players, bro. Like it's not like all these kids, they get signed, they get handed everything. Like that interview with Damon and JJ Redick on JJ Redick's podcast.
That was a great podcast.
Bro, that's another thing why I respect Dame. But like he said, like all these kids are like, when he came in, Dame was always Dame, but he came into 37, 40-year-old players and guards where, yeah, you Dame, but you got to earn your position and prove yourself here. You feel what I'm saying? And that's the type of players that I think and I know that we have and we picked up. These kids aren't coming in here, expecting everything to get handed to them. They're working, they're grinding, and they're putting in, and you see the results.
You're on mute, Miguel.
Sorry about that. And they're showing out for the coach, and the game they have his respect.
They all bought in. They're all bought into Tim.
And you're right. That you earn your spot and you get your minutes if you play well. And that you got to play the 48 minutes because it's gonna be a grind. And they're seeing that now, and they're doing it, and they're in the gym, and the coach trusts them, and he trusts But also, RJ had 22 points that night. He's playing well. He's doing great as always. But shouts out to Randall. Shouts out to my man. Randall had 26 points and 11 rebounds.
That was a bounce back. That was a bounce back too, because I mean, everybody, when he had the bad game, he's fighting with the refs. He had a bad game. Everybody was like, here comes old Randall that we don't want to see. He got back into his meditation or whatever.
He got his 24 points and 10 rebounds. He did well. And then also what's crazy is that IQ had 26 points. Randall had 24. IQ had 26. Randall had 10 rebounds. IQ had 10 rebounds. And my point is that I see that Randall is also communicating with his teammates. Like he's there, like they communicate. I see that they all are communicating on the court with each other, and they seem to have that trust with each other, and it seems to be rubbing off. Like that night, it seemed that it rubbed off on IQ because they had almost the same numbers, and IQ had a great game that night. They played almost the exact same amount of minutes. So I guess what does that say about the coaching staff? Because they both played 33 minutes. Randall played 33 minutes and 50 seconds, and IQ played 33 minutes and 57 seconds.
Yeah, and that's again without JB, but as you're saying, they're playing good together, they're figuring each other out, as what you were talking about, Phil. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying, as Phil, both of you were saying that the team's starting to come around. They're trusting their coach. They're playing for their coach. You're bought in. Sounds like you're bought in on Tibbs now, Phil. Understanding how Tibbs, what he sees as far as the talent when they saw Cam, as you're saying.
No. It's not like I always.
I'm not saying you're not. I'm not saying that you doubt it. I'm just saying as you see now that you're not second guessing some of the things he's saying now, because you see that not only him but the front office, because it's a front office choice anyway. Because the front office is the one that really makes a team moving and acquiring players too. So when they got rid of Cam, it wasn't. And again, Knicks Nation, we love Cam, we love Kevin, we love anybody who was a Knick, but you got to understand that right now they didn't fit our timeline. They didn't fit of how we're playing now. So the front office is organizing and putting players together that are not only win now, but the right mindset of players, as you're talking about, dogs, the right type of players are going to set the right example for the young players. So when they come in, because not only are we, as we're building year 3 of the rebuild, we're also creating the most important thing, which is a culture on how we got to play, the type of mindset we got to take. And as you're talking about, as the Dame Lillard interview as well, of how you ain't just gonna get this, even if you're that dude or the young kid or whatever. You got to earn it not only in practice, you got to bring it in the game, and they're setting a mindset and example. So they're how they're letting the players come around. Even with Deuce, Deuce is setting an example. Like, yo, I gotta be ready. I gotta be ready to produce when I get that burn.
Yeah, well, coming to that about that interview. See, we don't have nobody on staff like Dame Lillard, had those older vets and make them deserve and get those positions. But we're hiring Tibbs, knowing that, his history, he's not married, he's married to the game, no kids. The kids is his game. So bringing an old school coach like that with that kind of roots of his, Tibbs is the culture. Tibbs is the culture. Tibbs, we have it, like you saw his relationship with Derrick Rose when he was younger. You understand? That's the same thing that Damian Lillard had to look up to in those players. That's what Derrick Rose respected about Tibbs, and they got along so great because Tibbs made Rose earn that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You understand what I'm saying? And if you remember, Rose came in and he could have been that type of player that, like, oh, hand me the world. But no, Tibbs was like, no, you're going to earn it. And he respected that. Jalen Rose was
Chicago squad.
He was the MVP.
Squad.
So he had the right to be like that braggadocious, but that wasn't his upbringing. His upbringing was like a Tibbs type of, player.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, when he was a coach, I like that Chicago squad he had with Noah, and he had a really good squad because all those guys were dogs and they played for the coach. And I liked them because they used to go up against LeBron and the Heat, even though the Heat would win, but they used to give the Heat a headache in the playoffs. That Thibault team against the Heat and against LeBron, and they hated LeBron, because they were already, they were already, a super team, and they were getting their asses kicked, and everybody was, giving them all these kind of accolades that they really didn't work so hard for. But when they played the Chicago squad, that they had to play hard for the Thibs and earn it, that's why they had that conflict and that hatred towards the Heat. Because they weren't those entitled, like Dillard said. Like the Heat were entitled, and the Chicago team didn't go in there feeling entitled. They felt like they were hard workers going in there, trying to earn their stripes, and they gave them a headache. So I've always liked that Tom's team, and he's doing the same thing with the Knicks.
They were all dogs. They were all dogs. Noah was a dog. Rose was a dog. I forget
They were all dogs. Taj,
all of them, man. And like I said, the whole point being of what I was saying, Tibbs is the culture of New York because
Jimmy Butler, by the way, though.
Jimmy Butler.
That's who RJ.
He likes tough guys. Yeah, he loves tough guys like that. They always
and Tibbs brung that from his start with Van Gundy.
Yeah, with the Knicks.
You understand? Hey, he was here.
And he won a ring in Boston too. When Boston won it with he was in Boston. He
with his defense,
he won a ring there.
And it was the defensive mindset. Like, wherever Tibbs goes, he's always gonna squeeze the power out of. Like, he's gonna squeeze
some
that
respect on that man's name as
work.
well. Put some respect on that man's name.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that point you're saying. Good. No, that was a good point.
That's where Mike was giving his props to Randall. I give all my props to all the players. They all been balling out.
Yeah.
But my
man.
total respect
Dogs.
is definitely Tibbs. Like he's the head
He's Dr. X,
Professor X.
Professor X.
There you go. Nah, you're
Yeah,
right.
I
And
mean,
that's a good point. You saying that he is the culture. He's setting the mindset. He's setting the team's expectations. He's setting the roles. He's teaching everybody, as you said, that everybody has to sacrifice. That's a team mentality. That's a culture mentality of how he's getting everybody ready to run and ready to play. I mean, that's an excellent point on there. And even as we look at this year, this third year, 3 years playing with Coach Tibbs, and then that you have two playoff years within 3 years of being with Tibbs, right? So that mindset that he's getting on there, so that's huge. That the team's learning and adapting to his style, and look how much he's grown. Even in the first half of the year, I mean, we have half our Knicks nation fire Tibbs. His in-game rotations was sucking. His plays after timeouts was sucking. He's keeping the players in too long. He's not trusting in the youth. He's not playing the youth enough. These were all criticisms of him. And in the
And
latter
they
half
were
of the
true. They were true probably earlier in the season.
that's
But
what
it
I'm
took
saying.
time, and it took him seeing, it took the regular season and these guys playing these games and the competition and going through the season right now for them to gain confidence and trust in each other. And he trusted the kids because they know that he trusts them and they're playing for him, and that they need to, if they want playing time and they want to make their money in the long run, just listen to the man. He's been in the game a lot longer, and he's just a wise man. And he just, I'm not saying he's the greatest coach ever or anything like that, but right now he's looking like that. So I mean, because this is one of my favorite teams right now, so far.
Yeah,
We'll
but
see what
that's
happens.
what I'm saying. Even to that point that you're talking about, like, look,
I believe.
he's made adjustments. He's had to learn himself. This is a year of development, not only for players. I said that in I think episode 2 and 3 that we were talking about, that everyone can develop. It's not just young players only development. It's not that just the young players go to G League and they learn and that's it. Nobody learns. Coaches can learn. Veterans can learn.
Yeah.
It's an adaptation. It's a mentality. Learning is you never stop learning. You could be 99 and learn something. So that aspect of everybody learning, Tibbs came a long way. He would have just burned Derrick Rose to the ground till his knees exploded in a game if it was really up to his old ways.
Right.
He could have used Evan Fournier, who's a $19 million player, by the way, to give him props and say, "Yo, you're gonna sit down."
Well, I mean, my bad, but
Okay.
from year one, he had Mitch and RJ playing. Like, so the thing of Tibbs only running with veterans was dispelled right then and there. So
And that's all he had. He just had those
And
players
also-
except for Julius.
And also, that all these people, all these guys are new to each other more or less, and they're coming together in the first year, in the first couple of months of playing in the regular season. That they're also trusting in one another, because you've got two new guys. You've got guys who've been there playing already, going on their third year. I think this, for IQ, this might be his third year, because he was a rookie, and then last year, and then this year. So he's also and also Deuce and Grimes. Guys have been in the league, what, 2-3 years max? So he's got young guys playing all together and confidently in one another. And that's the thing you gotta give shouts out to the front office, and you gotta give shouts out to the coach and the coaching staff as well, because they seem to have a good coaching staff, I'm noticing. Guys who are really in there.
Yep, and I think we could all agree on that on there. And to that point of the young players playing for him, to that point of Thibodeau making some adjustments, how about that Denver game? That body bag Denver game. We're playing the number 1 team offensively in the entire league. Out of all 30 teams, Denver is number 1 offensive league team. And our ranking, we're in the middle of the pack right around defensively. We're not quite clicking how we should be, but we're right around 15th defensively. Up and down we've been throughout the entire year. And then you have Denver that had Aaron Gordon with 14 points, 5 rebounds. You had Michael Porter Jr., who's a good young talent. They gave him the bag there. He only had we kept him to 11 points, 5 rebounds. Jokic, who's MVP candidate. This is an MVP who's probably going to win it. I mean, if we're all going to be seriously here, he's probably winning MVP on there, and we contain him to 24 points, 10 rebounds, and only 8 assists. He's averaging almost a triple double every game. So we contain him. Jamal Murray, who was playing lights out. We got to give the man his props. He balled out with 25 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Brown had 11. So they played a very good game. And I think we fought back the whole game and then making our run ourselves. Us, but being that Randall only had 20.7 rebounds. RJ Barrett had 21 points, 4 rebounds. Then you had Mitchell Robinson had a bounce back game, 8 points, 9 rebounds. Brunson is welcome back game. Welcome back. 24 points, 5 assists. Again, I would love to have him in 8 to 9 assists a game. Very capable of doing. Grimes had a decent bounce back game with only 9 points. Josh Hart, your man, the myth, the legend, 13 points, 5 assists, 8 rebounds. Quickly with 10 points. Hartenstein with 6 points. And then Obi Toppin with 5 points. What do you guys think about that game? What did you witness against that
All
team?
right. For me, looking right here at the board, quarter number 1. Can you guess what we had? We started off with 36 points to their 28. I'm telling you, is that 30 plus when you're playing like only the great teams, like all the great teams that we know that are winners and champions that, you know, everybody brags about, they're barely starting off games with 30 plus points. And we've been on a good trajectory of starting off first quarters and third quarters. I mean, basically the first half of the games we're really asserting an aggressive offensive game to go along with the defense, setting the tone for the rest of the game. Like a lot of the games that we've played in the past, we would be up 20 plus, you know, in the beginning of the season, and things will dwindle down and we'll lose the lead, then have to catch up. That hasn't been the case at all, you know, for a big majority of this year. You know,
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
And that I mean, like I said, those starting quarters, for me, the most important quarters are the first and the third, bro. And continuing to set the trend of not like the Denver game. Denver did not have the lead at all. None of the game. I don't.
They did. I think they did
First-
at the.
Yeah, it was back. It was back and forth.
Second quarter.
Yeah, it was back and forth for a little bit.
Second quarter they had the lead, but I mean, when we're catching up, we're not losing it that much.
What are your thoughts on the game, Miguel?
Well, it was an exciting game. I woke up late. I didn't catch it till like the end of the second quarter, and I saw that they were losing. I was like, damn! I was so mad that I woke up late and didn't catch the first quarter, and then that they were losing. But then after the half, it was an exciting, great game. It was so much fun watching that the other two halves of that game and how they came back. And you know, they showed up a lot of heart. It was Brunson's first game back.
Yeah.
20 points because he went off in the first couple of quarters. I didn't get to see it. You know, but
especially the first quarter, that first quarter. That's when he went off for sure. I think he has 12 straight points.
Afterwards, I saw that. You know, and of course, RJ, man. RJ played 34 minutes, had 21 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and was a positive 13. You know, he had 0 turnovers. He had 1 offensive rebounds, and he made 5 3 points.
Hey,
no.
Can you guys listen to this soundbite real quick?
Yeah.
Cloud it. Turn around, because you know I cloud it. Come on, players, stop hating. Stop hating. Stop participating. Stop participating, star. Come on, twinkle, twinkle, baby. Twinkle, twinkle.
Twinkle, twinkle, star.
Twinkle, twinkle, boy.
Twinkle, baby.
Twinkle, twinkle. Y'all got to join it. Y'all got to join in on that. We was balling. We took it to him. I think a big thing that stuck out. I didn't mean to cut you off, Miguel, but was our fight. I think in the last couple of games, that's what I'm seeing. The fight in us when because they came back in the second quarter, 39-26 over us. They scored 39, we scored 26. They fall back. They took the lead. They were up at half, and then we started coming back again, and then we fall back in the third. We had 29 points. They had 24. I mean, it was a dogfight with the top teams, as Miguel was saying, our top teams that we're fighting them.
Our teams do. We beat Boston. We beaten Philly. We've beaten Denver. We've beaten, the top dog teams, man. We ain't afraid. We've shut down. So then the pattern, if we're shutting down all-stars, then I ain't afraid for the next all-stars that are going to come up against us because they're so confidently right now.
All right. Well, what I noticed from RJ, where he got that confidence back, was that LA game. When I saw him go up at Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
3 times in a row, might have not been in a row, but in those plays where he just kept going in on them and not being afraid, and
he smoked them.
That's where you saw the switch, where he was like, "Damn, I am playing more, aggressive and assertive." And he went in on AD a few times, bro, back to back, and ever since then, his trajectory has been the same of last year when we saw him putting up 40-point games, ending games like he did with the Celtics. His confidence should be there. We got it a little late, but better late than never. And I'll take that going into the playoffs. If RJ could be the RJ that he was, and to my point, within episode 10 and 11, I forgot which one I missed, but that third threat, we do not have a consistent third threat. And if RJ could come in for the rest of the season and be that consistent third threat, besides JB and besides Randall.
Yeah, no, I'm saying we do have that third threat. We have a third. We have him. We have them. This kid is 23 years old. He's going to be 23. God bless him. And he's averaging 23 points a game for almost the last 23 effing games, yo. This kid is consistent, and I think that I was thinking about that earlier, Phil. I think that we do have our guy. I mean, that's how much faith, confidence I have in RJ.
But Mike, what has been saving us a lot the last few games is that we haven't been having that consistent third threat. It's been an effort of a Hart coming and being that third threat for a little second. Deuce coming and being that third threat for a little part of the game. You understand what I'm saying?
What more could you ask from a guy who's 23 years old and has been scoring over 20 points a game, Phil?
All right, but Mike, but what I'm saying is that the ending of RJ's last year, when he was in an upward trajectory of scoring 30 plus, 40 plus. You understand what I'm saying? He should have came in. Excuse the helicopters, bro.
I don't hear it.
I'm by the beans.
Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, we hear you.
You know what I mean? But to my point being, yeah, he should have had a slow start but he should have already been at this level at least two months ago. Where he's
but he was hurt 2 months ago, Phil. I think that he's feeling better and more. I thought he was playing injured. I think even after he broke his finger, he was playing tentatively. He wasn't going really hard. I think that he was still nursing it. He had the thing on his finger. I think
before he injured his hand, he wasn't.
He was sick before that. He was coming off a cold, and then he was recovering, and then he got hurt.
All right, but see, this.
But he was still weak. I don't think that's since January, December. He's been 100%.
Mike. Okay, I get all of that. I get all of that. But this is New York. Look at Hartenstein. Hartenstein, nobody knew he was injured.
Yeah, they knew.
I mean,
I didn't
even know but
he was recovering.
Hartenstein just recently started playing better because he said his injury healed up, but he was still out there playing and giving it his all.
Yeah, I don't know how he was out there. He wasn't 100%. or how long the injury occurred. Because if it was an Achilles injury, that takes a really long time to heal, and you have to be off of that for a long time. Maybe he was still a little, also playing a little tentative as far as Hartenstein is concerned in the beginning, but he got better. He's probably 100% now, and you can see that he's playing better. So I think it's the same thing with RJ. I think that after he broke his finger, he still was playing very tentative. And I think psychologically, when you break a finger like that and it's coming out through your skin, I think it's still a little tender, and it's also, you have to be a little careful that you don't re-injure it, because it's probably not 100%. After only being out 6 weeks, you should be out the rest of the season with a broken finger. You know what I mean? If you want to really come back 100%. But he seems to be playing better because he seems to be healed. So you see him making that now his number. Now he's playing more consistently. But even despite the injury, he still was getting his numbers a little bit. He just, it seemed to me, he was playing a little, not going really hard, or when his shots weren't going in because he just didn't have the touch, because, whatever. His injury was on his right hand, but he's ambidextrous, but his shots weren't going in. To me, it seemed in my eyes that he was just still playing injured, and now he's playing better, and we see that.
I see that. Yes, he's giving you 20 a game, which I was a supporter of that and understanding, but I think now he's playing confident than he wasn't playing as confident. I think his confidence is a big role on his transition now, and also the outside in, the coach telling him, look, you're trying these other things, and I know you want to grow your game, but just like we're talking about Mitch, we know you want to expand your game, but right now we need you to do this. RJ, this is what you do really, really well. You drive into the lane, you take it to the heart of their defense, you wham on them, you get to the line. That's where we need you to get. That is where your strong suit is right now. And that's what we need you to do. These other things you're trying is not working. Bully ball. We need you to.
He's not finesse. He don't play a finesse game. He comes in downhill. He comes in downhill just like, I mean? He's not a finesse player. So,
and he could. It's just not this year. Right now, we don't need that. Like you guys were saying, Mitch, we don't need you to shoot a three. We don't need you to do any baby hooks. Right now, we need you to rebound and defense. That's what we need right now.
Yeah, but Dwight, where you said that he just got his confidence up. You feel what I'm saying? Where did that come in? That came in the Lakers game.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, going back to his old roots.
Even though his last 7 games, he's been 20 plus or better, which came in before the LA game. But where I think it got solidified was in that Lakers game, and he's been playing way better.
And to your point, what you're saying too is not only that he was getting 20 before, which some people were saying they were invisible points to a certain extent. It's when he's getting these points now, like in the Laker game, when we need it, he's going to the game. Before he was getting them in the fourth quarter, which were big points, but now he's learning how to do it throughout the game, taking it right to their chest, right to the chest of each player. Not trying to do fadeaways, because you're not going to get the calls unless you go at them. They're not going to get, because he's not getting any calls. So if you're fading away, they're gonna favor the defender and not you. So he's going to taking it to the basket. As you said, he was unwilling before to take it to Anthony Davis. He's doing the follow-up shots. So I think that's big. And when he's making those plays, he's making it when it's important now. Yep. And I've been noticing, not only is he doing that, but I've noticed a little, not great, but a little better footwork. And I think he's probably been working or talking with JB. If you look at the little turnaround, he's doing a little more spinning and getting his little shot, even the little teardrop hook that he has on there, pass. So I think he's picked something up from Jalen Brunson. Yeah. I think I'm seeing a little bit better footwork, because he had 2 big old feet.
I think he had moves that he was working on, and then he got sick and injured, and then he just couldn't really work on it.
No, I think it's when Tibbs stepped up and started doing what he needed to do, and benching the players that were playing like trash and sitting them and letting the people that wanted to play. That set an example. Yo, RJ, you're not closing this game. You're playing like shit. Yo, close this out. Close it. That goes to Tibbs. You feel what I'm saying? He's making the adjustments that a big majority of the people are saying, oh, Tibbs don't know how to make adjustments, and you feel what I'm saying? And he's holding people accountable and making them work and earn their shit, because now we have other players that are coming in hungry, ready to close games out.
Yeah, big facts. I mean, now we got 10 more games that are going to be coming up. So we got 10 more games to close out. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get a 50, but that really doesn't matter to the most part right now, whether we get 50 or not. I don't think
Well,
it's in
right
my
now, we have the 4th easiest schedule, I heard.
Yep.
So we
But
got to play Miami. The only one is Miami twice. We got to play them at home and we got to play them away. And those are going to be fun games, of course.
All right.
You know, I think we might go 50-50 on that one because they need to come in. They're going to come look and punch us in the face. But then again, I don't know because we sure did rip their hearts out there.
Quick thing. I said about that third run, bro. We just beat the number 1 team in the West. This is game number 2 of that streak. If we beat Denver, if we beat Denver, and the only reason we lost to Sacramento and to the Clippers was because of the fact that we came in a little too cocky, and number 2, we didn't have Brunson. So now that everything is up in par, everybody should be 100% healthy. There's no reason.
We still gotta play Miami twice. We still gotta.
Is Miami better than Denver? This is what I'm getting at.
But no, the difference is, brother, is that Miami is our biggest, greatest competitor than Denver. We don't face Denver like that, but Miami's a whole different animal, dog. You know what I'm saying?
They're in our conference.
And we beat them at home, and they're gonna look to come and bust that ass. I'm not saying they will. But I'm saying it's not going to be easy. I think it's going to be a lot tougher than them. Denver's a really good team, but that's a whole different competition. The feud between us and Miami. We still got to go play Milwaukee. We still got to play Philly. I'm just going off the top of my dome.
No, we're not playing. I'll tell you right now. We're not, next game we play tomorrow. We play the Timberwolves, which is going to be a key game that I'm going to look at because everybody's talking about Ant. We were talking about it too, how we think Ant and RJ comparison. And we got to look at that game. I want to look at it.
I definitely want to see that matchup battle.
So we want to see the Ant RJ battle. I think
Isn't Ant hurt? It didn't Ant.
Oh yeah.
Is he? I missed that.
Yeah, he twisted his ankle yesterday.
Okay, so he's like, well, that means it should be a W. Should be a W for us.
Yeah.
Then we play the Heat on Wednesday, and so that's going to be a big game. We play the Heat on Wednesday, and then Thursday, which is a back-to-back, I'm going to be at that game live. We play the Magic, and then so that should be a W.
We're playing the Magic, dog.
But listen, Magic got a squad. They're young. They just don't know how to win, but they got athletes there. Don't sleep on. They're beating
sleep on the Magic. Don't sleep on the Heat. Go ahead.
It still should be a W. Then we play the Rock. Then we got the Rockets. That should be a W. So out of those 4 games, it should be at least.
I say what it's gonna be. Don't jinx my team.
I'm saying it should be because if we're a playoff team, we have these.
You don't need to know if it's a W or a loss. I don't want to hear that shit, man. Don't give me that ish, dog. Don't count your chickens before they hatch, bro.
Okay, so we're it's a possibility we might lose to the Houston Rockets, the worst team in the NBA. That's a W, my nigga.
Okay, you want to put it out to the universe, that's different.
All right, the Heat, then we play the Heat again. Then we got the Cavaliers. So the Heat, we play Heat twice. That's big again at our conference. And then the Cavaliers.
You see the Heat,
Cavaliers.
the Orlando, the Heat, the Cavs. Listen, Phil, listen.
This is the same guy who says Brooklyn. Watch out for Brooklyn.
My bad, bro.
Then we got Winston.
Yo, listen, don't sleep on Brooklyn. You heard our man Raw Hebrew. You guys are sleeping on that team, dude.
Man,
listen, Brooklyn. Look, Brooklyn lost 4 or 5 games, my guy.
Brooklyn also beat Milwaukee, I believe.
They slept on them. They slept on them. They're good. They lost 4 or 5 though.
Consistent.
Let me see. I think they're
just gelling, but they're playing for another team that's playing for that coach.
Man, hey, off that.
Come on, man.
By the way, nobody. Who did this?
Yeah, my nigga, the new Knicks, my spicker. He did that. The Brooklyn Nets. That's what they are. Because they hover around Boo Boo. That's what they are. They hover around boo, but they straight trash. They all right. They're doing respectable, but they're still riding the coattails of the wins that they didn't acquire. They got good players that they traded for. They got a good Cam Johnson, a young and up and coming scorer who's a good small forward. He can score.
Brooklyn Nats, you bugging.
I see what you did there. They bugging. So anyway, and I think Brooklyn lost today. I'm pretty sure they lost today to Denver Nuggets, which I gotta double look. See, check that out, Miguel. See if they won, because I know they just played today. They played today. They just played Denver.
Bitch, bro.
I know they was just losing. They was losing in the fourth quarter when I was watching it there. So I think they took that L. I'm pretty sure they took that L today. So you let me know on that. Nonetheless, we got 10 games. Most of the teams right now are set in place after 5. It's a toss-up between 6 and 7, maybe 8. But nonetheless, it's more than likely we're going to be playing Cleveland, which is going to be very climactic here. Everybody's talking about the Donovan Mitchell. Now you're going to start seeing that ramping up. Oh, the Knicks should have got Donovan Mitchell. Who's going to win now? Now, they're going to be a very tough team, but it's going to be interesting. These last 10 games, all we got to know is that you guys got to stay organic, be organic fanatics here. And then we got a game we'll recap again maybe later on this week on Friday. So if you guys are watching, watch us on Fridays, 5 p.m., Sunday, 5 p.m. Anything you guys want to talk about before we wrap up for this Denver? Anything else out here? Final thoughts.
All right, who's what you said the next game was?
Timberwolves. We play them tomorrow.
We play them tomorrow. All right, I got that as a dub. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
so that's an easy dub, and nothing.
Tuesdays we play the Heat. So we got a back-to-back Tuesday and Wednesday. We play Heat, then we play Orlando Thursday. Well, Wednesday, Thursday. Wednesday we play the Heat. That's gonna be an interesting game. That's gonna be.
What did you say we play? When do we play the Timberwolves? Tomorrow.
Monday. We play them tomorrow. Wednesday we play the Heat, and then Thursday the Magic.
Okay, so we're gonna get a day off, and then where are we playing the Heat? Where we going after the day off? Are we playing at home?
We're playing the Heat versus the Heat. So we're playing at Miami because they're gonna be here. So they're playing at Miami. We're not playing at the Garden.
Right, because we're gonna go down and play at Orlando.
Mm-hmm. And so we're playing at Miami.
We're gonna get a day
at
off,
Orlando.
and then we're gonna go play.
It's Minnesota tomorrow, so we're playing at Minnesota
At home.
At home, and then we have a day off. Then we're gonna fly to Miami. We play Miami Wednesday night at Miami, and then we play Orlando at Orlando.
All right, not too sure of when we have upcoming episode, not an episode, but a series. I just thought we've been talking about it in the background, but it's called On Site. So what we're gonna start
talk about that.
doing
We'll
is-
talk about that later. We'll see if we get on. We can't get that on this podcast, but we'll try to do some live events on there as you get into. But we still gotta.
No, what I'm just saying, like, because I was trying to see if I can make it a Wednesday's game to start setting. We'll
talk about the plan later for the live. And then now we'll talk about that later on the live. Not on the live.
Right.
And so for final thoughts, what do you think we got tomorrow? We got a dub, Miguel?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one. I'll give. Yeah.
I don't want predictions. No, it's jinxing. We're talking about basketball. So that's a W. That's a W.
You got to try to call games, and then you just ruin it for me.
Well, what do you think about the Heat? How do you think we're going to do against the Heat then?
I think it's going to be 50-50. I'm expecting them to come back. We're playing them over there, and I don't know if we'll be able to pull off what we did.
Safe cold take.
Man,
Brought to you by Mike's Colby.
hopefully I'm wrong.
You play flag. You play flag football with equipment.
Hopefully I jinx the jinx and we win. That's what I'm hoping for.
That dude play flag football with pads.
Dog, I played tackle football in high school. You didn't. All right,
I did play, my guy. First of all, I was a starting running back.
In high school?
Yes, I did, sir, and I was third in the state.
Get out of here.
What'd you play?
Bowen High School in Chicago, and I was third in the state as a running back.
I didn't know it.
You need to check yourself.
You played in Beach too.
I didn't play in Beach. I played. And
Oh,
Bowen.
you didn't
I
play.
wrestled in Beach High and in Bowen.
Okay, whatever. I wrestled and I played football in high school, son.
And I played baseball, and I was a Golden Glove champion. So what we talking about? We bringing our stats? We talking about stats here, boy?
We're talking about basketball. All I'm
Oh.
saying is that maybe with my
That was Phil. Phil was the basketball king.
double whammy, will jinx the Heat and will win.
So out of the 2 games we played, do you think we win?
We're also playing in Orlando. It's not going to be an easy game. It's going to be tough. We can do it. I believe in the Knicks. That's not taken away, but I'm
As
not
you
also taking away
should.
from the team. You know, ain't nothing wrong with that. I just don't like to make predictions like that. Whatever. Kiss my ass. Kiss my brown ass.
I say we get 2 wins off the Heat. It's gonna be the first one's gonna be a very tough one.
We'll
a
see.
very tough one.
We'll see, and we're gonna see your whining violin voice if we lose because you jinxed my team.
Jinxed him. All right. Well, any final thoughts for Lange?
I want to thank everybody for joining the show. You know what I mean? You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. Thank you for coming out, episode 11. And we do what we do when we did it.
And we appreciate y'all for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for commenting. Just keep the comments, likes,
Share,
whatever.
like,
You know the
subscribe.
routine. You know the routine.
Adios, mi gente, Knicks fan everywhere.
Real recognize real Latinos. All right, we appreciate y'all, all our peoples. We love y'all from all over the world. Thank you for supporting, comment, like, subscribe. You know all of that. Thank you for being organic fanatics. Out.
You got that outro ready?
Not this time, brother. But we don't need an outro. We got our peoples. But we love you.